Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mondays with Marian. I'm your host, Marian. Every week I post a new video every Monday talking about entrepreneurship, mindset, leadership, sharing with you some of the practices and habits that I have, just really sharing with you my entrepreneurial journey, both professionally and also spiritually. If you guys follow me on social media, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but especially on Instagram, you can see that I share a lot about my loves and things that I'm passionate about. And one is yoga and meditation, and another one is reading. Today, what I thought every month I was going to do, I do it with some of my friends. Some of us love to read, and we kind of have a little book club. And I thought it'd be great to share that with every one of you. And I would love to have your feedback too about some of the books that I'm sharing, and if you have any suggestions for other really good books. So I actually like to read mostly nonfiction, but I read a lot of fiction as well, and a wide variety of different types of books. And you'll kind of get a feel with the first three for this month that I'm going to share. And I'm going to link all this up in the description below. So you guys will see, the titles of the books and a link to it. I think this one is a classic. It's Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And I think this is something that everyone should have in their repertoire of books. It's a classic, it's been around for years, but the philosophy is the same. It's really all about the mindset. When you first think of it, you're like, oh, think, grow rich. Yeah, it's one of those woo-woo things. But it really talks about how his time, Napoleon Hill interviewed a lot of movers and shakers and people who are wealthy, and what did they do differently? What did they practice? And a lot of it is really your mindset and how you think, because your thoughts become your action and your actions become your world. Think and Grow Rich is something I refer to every so often. Maybe I read it once a year, once every 2 years, but the lessons are completely timeless. So it talks really about manifesting and about visualization, because if you're always thinking of things like you're not enough, you don't have enough, that is the type of energy and vibes that you're putting out there. But instead, even if you're not at the level of success that you want to be, or you don't have the money that you have right at this very moment, you need to visualize it, because when you visualize it, it becomes more real. And then you start taking the steps to get you closer to that vision. So that vision becomes your reality. Highly, highly recommend this book. And this is really not just for business, but for a way of life. I'm such a proponent for the abundance mindset versus the scarcity mindset. So this is a really, really good book. Another one, which is so different, like I told you, I have a lot of different types of books that I love to read. I meditate. I try to really meditate every morning. This was given to me by a really good friend. I love this book. It's called The 72 Names of God, Technology for the Soul. It's a Kabbalah book. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. So I read a lot of different, and I study a lot of different types of religion, and there's things that I pick from every single one. This meditation book, I try to open it up to a different passage each day, and I read it, and I try to apply it to my life. And I loved it so much, I actually had 2 tattooed of the verses on my arm. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know how to say it in Hebrew, but the translation for it was listening to my soul's purpose and unconditional love. It's always with me, and it always reminds me about really listening to my purpose and what my intuition and my soul tells me every day. When things get tough and I'm challenged in life, I try to really reflect back and get back into meditation. Highly recommend this book. And the last one for this month's book club, book recommendation list, is Tools of Titans. Absolutely love this book. This is a must. I'm a huge fan of Tim Ferriss. I listen to his podcast, I read his books, and this is Tools of Titans, the tactics, routines, and habits of billionaires, icons, and world-class performers. Amazing. And this is not something that you can read it in one sitting, but it's a really thick book. It's basically the summaries of all the guests that he's had in his podcast. So he gets the most important things that he's learned and really sharing it with us, which is awesome, because these are people like Tony Robbins, people who are world-class athletes, who are billionaires, people that don't really sit down and talk or do interviews, but Tim Ferriss gets a chance to interview them, and he gets pieces of information that are so applicable and actionable. And that's what I love. A lot of times there's a lot of information out there that has a concept, but they don't give you actionable steps. So this really gives a lot of actionable steps and things you can do to improve your life. Business, spirituality, physically, everything. So this is a really good guide to book. I have this bookmark, bunny-eared for certain things that I want to refer back to if I want to do something to change the way I think, in terms of business, if I'm trying to launch a new product, if I want some motivation, whatever it is, there's always something in this book. So yeah, those are my 3 recommendations for this month. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for books, I'm always open. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on social media. I post a lot, especially on Instagram. So bye for now. See you guys next week.